Amazing grace, come sit on my face. Don't make me cry, I need your pie. Yay, you dirty bitch. What? Well, how was I supposed to know it was a funeral? Well, I'll not be invited to that house anytime soon. Oh, happy Halloween. Sorry, I was talking to my grandma. I was doing some arts and craft with her earlier. Yeah, she always was glamorous. There you go, Granny. So, Halloween 2 is the direct sequel to the original Halloween, and it came out in 1981. And the story takes directly off from where Halloween 1 ended. So, you know, Loomis shoots Michael 6 times. He falls off the balcony, he looks down, he's gone. What's the boogeyman? You know, so Halloween 2 takes directly after that. Loomis leaves the house after shooting him to look down, trying to see if he could find Michael. Finds the patch where he landed. And then, you know, puts his hand on and finds blood, and one of those iconic lines, you know, where, you know, tell the sheriff I shot him, you know. He's still on the loose. You don't know what death is, and then the music starts a brand new style, which is still from John Carpenter. Plays, and it's actually pretty good. A lot of people don't like it because it has like a sort of techno-ish type of vibe to it. But personally, I thought it was okay. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Like, I'd still listen to it. So, then it's Michael walking around the neighborhood, you know, just finding people to kill, you know, as you do. Why not? So, the Elrods finds his knife. You see him in that awesome shot in the background, just standing there, like, looking at the TV, and then just leaves. And then, of course, Mrs. Elrod looks, sees there's no knife, finds blood, screams, and then Michael just walks off like, fuck it. Which I'm really surprised he didn't kill them. That always surprised me. But, and then you have the random neighbour that's on the phone, and she's like, Mrs. Elrod? Mrs. Elrod? And she goes back in, and it always cracks me up. Oh no, it was just the Elrod. His wife's always picking on him. He just probably got angry and decided to start beating her. It's like, what the fuck? It was always funny. So, she gets her ass killed, of course. And the thing about Michael in this movie, a lot of people always say, like, the mask looks different, it's wider, it's not the same mask. If you know your Halloween history, it is the same mask. You know, Debra Hill, the co-creator, and, you know, she had the mask in a box under her bed, and she was a heavy smoker, really heavy. So hence why the mask sort of discolored, turned into a yellowish tint to it. And the reason it was wider was because it was worn by Dick Warlock, rest in peace. And he had a different shaped head, so hence why the mask was a little, you know, stretched out a bit. But it was the exact same mask. And, you know, he gives a great performance of this in the sequel as Michael. You know, it's a lot of people complain about, like, the fact he moves slow, like, you know, the zombie type of thing. But I always just put it down to, he was shot 6 times, and he fell off a balcony. I always just put it down to that. He fell off a balcony, and that's why he sort of walks slowly. But maybe that's me finding excuses for it. I don't know. But yeah, he gives a great performance in this. And Jamie Lee Curtis also returns. Her role, for the first 70-80% of the movie, it's just her basically lying in bed. And You know, she doesn't really do much, but whatever she does, you know, it's you know, get that action. You know, she runs away, Michael comes back, he stabs the nurse in the back, lifts her up, and then the chase sequence, and you know, good performance in that sense. And but yeah, the hospital that is set in this entire movie is basically set 90% in a hospital setting. Where the fuck is everybody? So I think I've counted in total 6 nurses and 1 security guard on Halloween night. Seriously? No patients? Like, there's no like wards and like tons of patients all walking around and talking and no. I mean, there's the baby section where there's like babies and the, you know, incubators, whatever. They're all there. And the thing I did notice about this one was the kills have been ramped up. And I think the reason for that was because Friday the 13th came out after the original Halloween. You know, with the original Halloween, there was 1 throat slit. The rest were strangulations. And 1 stabbing, of course, with Judith. And in this one, there's like jumping up with a knife, someone's throat, like, and then boiling a woman's head in water, literally. There was a strangulation in it. Stabbed, picked up. A weird death where a nurse was found and she has like the fucking tube hanging out of her and there's blood dripping all over the floor. I never understood what that death was. Did he knock her out and just do that to bleed her out? I never got it. No. And then of course the needle in the eye. That was it's probably my favourite one. The needle in the eye. It's pretty fucking gnarly. So yeah, the blood and gore is ramped up. I think it's because they took inspiration from Friday the 13th. You know, which in my opinion, they could have just stayed the way they did with the original format of not having as much blood. It was more impactful. Well, for me anyway. But yeah, so it's still great though. You know, it's again like you get Loomis back here. Donald Pleasence comes back. Rest in peace, sir. And he's brilliant as always. Of course he is. And this is the first Halloween movie in the franchise where they added the whole Michael and Laurie being brother and sister format. And I was never sure how I felt about that. You know, they have the whole thing which also baffled me, you know, where they go to the old hospital and there's a knife and a picture, it's like a drawing. And Loomis says his sister. You walk over and see, as Loomis pronounced it, Sam Hain written on the board, which is actually pronounced as Sowen. But you know, people pronounce things differently, and that's cool. You know, and he describes all what the significance about Halloween with it, you know, the season of Halloween, and you know, it was interesting. It was fascinating, like, you know, Michael is scarier when there is no explanation, no reason, nothing, you know, in my opinion anyway. And yeah, and that's when Michael's nurse, or yeah, would have been his nurse, yeah, from the first Halloween in the original, you know, where in the beginning where he climbed up on the car, like hit the window, and scared the piss out of her. Yeah. And yeah, she comes back, tells him that, you know, they want to get, you know, send you out of town, you know, you're freaking everybody out. Even though he's trying to help, but hey, nobody listens to Loomis, no matter what fucking movie it is, right? So they're in the car, and that's when she tells him about this secret file that basically states that Laurie and Michael are siblings. And the fact that Loomis didn't know this, that's interesting. It baffles me. I think, why would you hide that? You would think that would be significant. I mean, I know the Strodes wanted to do that to protect her, so she wasn't brought up or, you know, her name dug up, and I kind of get it, but, you know, it's not very professional. And then you have, of course, you don't get any reveal. Like, you don't get Laurie like being told Michael's your sister, or Michael is your sister. What the? He was your sister. Now he's your brother. That's why he's angry. Wasn't his choice. But anyway, I don't fucking know. I'm yakking on. But yeah, like, you never got any scene where, you know, she was told like Michael's your brother. You know, I mean, the kind of, I don't know, like, whenever she was dreaming, you had this scene where, like, young Michael is sitting at the window and Laurie walks in, and, you know, and then you have this blood dripping scene in between each shot of them. I don't know if that was trying to imply to her that you're blood, you know, you're both blood, you know, you're siblings. And maybe that's how she sort of copped on, I don't know. But, so yeah, she basically just runs eventually. She has like a moment, and then she knocks out of it all the drugs she was given. She, you know, she struggles to walk, and then, you know, you get the scene of Michael finding her, chasing her, and that's, for me, that's the big payoff. That whole chase thing, that's what it's all been building up to. And yeah, chases her, and she gets in the car, and of course you get Jimmy. Jimmy just walks in, finds the nurse, and he turns around, he slips, knocks himself out. I don't know what the point of that was. I never knew if that was an attempt of comedy, or was that just like, oh God, no, Jimmy, is he okay? I don't know. But he gets out, he finds the car, he gets in the car, the same car that Laurie is hiding in. She's ducked down, and of course he just randomly passes out again. Of course his head goes on the wheel, sets the horn off, and basically saying, if there's any killers out here, we're here. And then Loomis, of course, badass moment, he takes the gun out, and, you know, he's like, you know, warning shot, what? And he fires and shoots the window, and the car stops and goes back, and he goes to the hospital, and basically looking for Laurie. And I did mention there was one security guard, right? What the fuck? Oh God, his ass got it. I always laugh, but I always should laugh, but I always laugh at the scene when he closes the door and Michael appears with a hammer. It's the noise that happens after he hits him. It's like ding or ding. I just crack up laughing. It's the noise. It's not what he's doing. It's just the noise of the hammer hitting his head. It's funny. So yeah, Loomis was in the hospital. Laurie sees him, tries to scream, but she can't. Until the door is closed. The second they close, then she can scream, ironically. And eventually she gets up and runs. Michael appears with an awesome shot of Michael under the red light. We just see the masks kick ass. And she runs towards the door, screaming her ass off, and Michael casually just walking like it was just another day. Another day of slaying bitches. And she gets to the door, knocks it. Security guy runs, then Loomis gets the door, lets her in. And they get that scene, Michael just walks up the window and, you know, it would have been cool if maybe he had a headbutt or something like that, or like just like that, but nope, just walks through it. It reminded me of that scene from Jaws 3. You know, the shark's just there, and you literally don't see the glass or anything. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, no, we'll get to that. Jaws 3, we'll get to that someday. But goes in, Loomis shoots him again. More than 6 times. He falls, and then, you know, plays dead. And as Loomis says to Laurie, you know, I'm sorry I left you. Are you all right? You know, which I never caught that until my recent watch. That's what he was saying. It's like, oh. So, you know, the other cop goes down, gets his throat slit. Then you have the badass sequence where they all run, and the new score again from John Carpenter. You know, it's like same as the original, but it had a bit of techno to it. And so yeah, they both run down like this empty ass hospital with 6 nurses dead, 1 security guy also dead. So it's just an abandoned hospital now, except for a few babies, which I hope they were, you know, found by the police when they all came. I'm sure they were, of course. But yeah, they ran into this room. Looms, slams the door, and hands Laurie a gun and says, "Take it, you know, take it." And Michael slowly making his way, this tiny ass little knife like that. Just, like, damn, you downgraded, man. So eventually busts it down. Loomis comes out. And Michael just looks at him like, bruh. It stabs him. Loomis falls backwards onto the ground. Then he walks towards Laurie and she's like, "Michael," and he stops and does the iconic head tilt slowly and knife back up. Like, the way he does it, like, he puts the thing down and goes right back up exactly where it was. Things that get really creepy, and a great performance. So, gets close, she takes the gun out, shoots him. Great fucking shot, by the way. Never fired a gun in their life, but hey, shot him in both eyes. So we have this awesome shot, he's like that, and all the blood's running out of his eyes. It's kick-ass shot, it really is. So he's there like that, trying to slice bitches with his blind ass. And so Loomis goes around turning gas on, so Michael hears the gas, turns around to that part, tries to stab, and she does it, so it layers him back like he doesn't know where the fuck he's moving. And then Loomis tells her, you know, Laurie, like, "No, go, you know, get out now." And then she runs out the door, and all the gas is on. Loomis takes out a lighter and, like, iconically just says, "You know, it's time, Michael." Then, boom. So yeah, sacrificed himself to take him out. Which I think originally, if they had have stuck to that ending and only that, which originally was intended, that would have been a great ending. Like, it would have been satisfying, you know, it was a great payoff and all built up. But no, we got more sequels, which I'm glad, because some sequels I do like, you know. And so yeah, she thinks it's all over. She's sitting there, it's like, ah. And you suddenly just see a figure just coming out of the fire and still walking. Which is like, holy fuck. Then eventually he just falls over. Which I'm surprised Laurie didn't run at that point. Like, she saw him walking, but she was just like, "Oh, well, guess he's coming for me, huh?" He walks, he falls over, and that's it. Michael's dead. So yeah, she gets up, and they take her into the ambulance, and there was another ending scene. There was 2 endings for that. There was the original ending, which we got. Laurie goes into the back of the ambulance, and you just see her, and then it pans, the camera just skips back to Michael being on fire, and then credits. But in another ending, which we didn't get, Laurie is in the ambulance, and Jimmy, remember, who passed out in the car, set the horn off, he gets up, so with a big bandage on his head, so he was alive in that ending. You know, we don't know what the fuck happened to him in the one we got, so we can only assume that did happen, we just didn't see it. So he gets up, looks at her, she looks at him, and she starts crying. And then we get the Michael burning scene, and then credits. So, you know, but overall, Halloween 2 is a pretty solid sequel in my eyes. You know, it has some silly things like, you know, the fucking skeleton crew at the hospital. 6 nurses, 1 security guard, 7 people in general in a big hospital on Halloween night. That's a flaw, you know. I get it, maybe they want to hire like hundreds of people just for background, but you know, but then again, an empty hospital is a creepy setting, and I think that's why it's creepy, is because it's an empty place, and that makes it creepy. I mean, who the fuck likes hospitals anyway? Fuck that shit. They're spooky, creepy, and you know, fucking hate them. And there's always that smell too. Yeah. Fuck no. So there's that, and again, look, Dick Warlock, he had a great performance as Michael, and the whole zombie walk thing didn't bother me as much. It actually doesn't really bother me. When I see it, I notice it. I'm like, you know, why couldn't he just walk down the stairs just normally? You know, but again, I put it down to the fact that he was injured earlier. But then again, at the start of the movie, when we headed towards the Elrons, he was walking normal. So how do you go from that to walking that slow? You know, things like that, little nitpicks. That's all they are, nitpicks. And Jamie Lee Curtis did a great job in this. You know, she already had her name out there by this point after the original Halloween, so it's awesome that she came back for this. And yeah, great movie overall. If I was going to watch the original Halloween, I would easily just pop the second one in, because like it's basically a continuation. You know, they're filmed, what, 3 years apart, but it still feels like it was the exact same night. So, and they did a great job of that, they really did. Oh, I may add, poor Ben Traber. Oh, jeez, he had an awful death. Fucking hit by a car. Them standing there, is it him or not? He's like, you know, and then you get, you know, telling the sheriff bracket about Annie, which is a sad scene where he finds her and, you know, he's like, I have to tell my wife, you know. So they leave Ben Traber there. They fuck off in the car, leave his ass barbecuing. And, yeah, like I said, great fucking movie. If I were to rate it, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Totally recommend it. If you haven't seen it, totally watch it. It's a great movie overall. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you're having a great Halloween. Stay safe, and yeah, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section below what your favorite Halloween 2 moment is. Moment is. Yeah, thanks for watching. Oh, and don't kill anyone.